everyone, this is Bev from Art by Bedell. Thank you for joining me again today. I know I have been absent and very negligent on my YouTube channel lately, and I apologize for that. I had a little self-care going on that I needed to take care of. I had a bit of a lack of mojo. And so I just worked on some projects that I'd kind of been putting aside and I just needed to get taken care of. And now I'm ready to dive back into another journal. This journal is going to be a large journal, and I've already chosen the papers for it. I have this from the Erie, Pennsylvania Daily Times. It was gifted to me. It said on it, they're the front pages of the Erie Times, and they date back to 1888 to 1988. So it was like celebrating the first 100 years of Erie. So anyhow, I have all these newspaper pages. I believe they're copies, and they're just the front pages of the newspapers. And so we have some interesting articles in there, but mainly I'm using them for the paper. So that's what this page is here. And you'll be finding that throughout my journals occasionally from here on out until that book is gone, actually. I could copy them and have it, but there might be some pages that I'll decide to do that with, but probably not too many of them. Anyhow, that's one of the pages. I have my mixed media that I glued together with this bird page that was too small, and I didn't want to fold it in half the other way because I wanted the birds to be heads up, not sideways. And then of course I have some of the fine art paper here that is from Hero Arts, and some more book pages out of a garden book. I have a check stub from a business check that dates back to 1984. Here is some of that nice parchment paper that crinkles. I have a piece of my Echo print paper, some packaging, some scrapbook paper, and each signature there's going to be, I think, 3, I'm not positive. I have papers picked out for 3, and that was the only one that I'd actually cut them down to size. Another page in this one is going to be a piece of fabric that has been glued onto a piece of player piano paper, and I glued that. I adhered them to each other with fusible webbing. There we go. There we go. I think I have a mental block about that maybe. Anyhow, today I want to work on this side, the fabric side. And I have already gone ahead and stitched all the way around with a zigzag stitch. And now I have some collage elements, and I want to make a pocket on this page. And I'm going to adhere my collage elements to start with by using my golden soft matte gel. There's not much in that one. We'll get that cleaned out, and then we'll open up our new one here. So I'm going to choose a soft brush to work with. I have this big one that will cover an area quite quickly. And just put a good, that may have dried up just a bit. So I'm going to add water to that and use that up later. Let's go to this one. Nice full container. And we'll get a good coating on here. I probably should get a paper underneath that. There we go. This paper here is a reject that didn't print out right. I was running out of ink, and it's supposed to be green. Anyhow, I don't like to throw all that ink away, and it's got some good print on here. It just isn't the color that it's supposed to be. It's Louisa Heinzel Digital. And so I thought, well, I'll use it on this page because I really do like the purple with the green, and some of my scrapbook papers have purple in them. Now, another piece that I'd like to add is this packaging. So if I use like packaging or newsprint or whatever on a page, then I want to turn around and use that also as collage elements throughout my journal. I'll just get that secured down there. And I think after I get the first two, well, maybe not, because I don't want to mess up the back side. I was going to do like some stitching, crazy stitching around that, but I think I'll not do that. We'll just make sure that we get it glued down properly the first time. Add a little more here. So I have these glued down, and what I want to do now is to add a pocket. And my pocket is going to be this flower here that I have drawn on a piece of ledger paper. And then this is not the original, I copied it, but I want to add this piece of lace to the bottom here. And then I think, let's see, I'm trying to decide how I want my layers to go from here, because my card here is going to be my pocket. So I think I'll have my lace below it. So I can go ahead and add this on two sides, because it's going to be a tuck spot, not a pocket, I'm sorry. So it's going to be the side that's open to the side of the journal here. So the left-hand side and the bottom. And I'm using some tacky glue. You can use some fabric glue, and decide where you want to position this. Now mine is going to be determined by my lace, because I don't want my lace to cover up much of that flower. So I'm going to put my flower right here, and then I'll make sure that's secured down. Ideally, I would like to stitch this, but I'm thinking of the back of my page here, and I'm not sure. I thought I was going to maybe draw some flowers on these two sides. So if I do that, I don't think I want stitching sticking out. So I'm not going to stitch it here. Okay, so that makes my tuck spot. Now I want to take a piece of lace, and again, I'm going to use my tacky glue, and I'm going to glue that down over top of this pocket. So I want to glue down on the bottom, the side, and then across this top here. I'm gluing where there is where it's more densely woven together, so that will hold the glue better. This glue won't be as visible as if I tried to do it in a really lacy part. Although I don't think you're going to see the glue anyhow, but that's just the way I go about doing my lace. Try not to make it visible anyhow. So bring this back, and then I'll bring my lace over to it and put my lace down. Just like that. And then I'll press that in place. Making sure I get it just where I want it. Now this piece of lace is from a recycled curtain that I bought at my thrift store. All right, now for over top of that, now I have a piece of vellum that I want to use as another little tuck spot below our flower. So it's going to go just over the edge of the bottom of the flower, and I will glue that down on the two sides and the bottom. So I want that to be about there. Now the vellum likes to curl up when it gets wet a little bit, so it'll take just a second to make it settle back down. So I get the glue to grab a hold here of the fabric. So there I have a tuck spot and then a pocket, and yeah, it's not going to stay. I'm going to break down and go sew that on. I'll be right back. Okay, there. In the long run, I'm going to be happier with that, even though I now have stitches on the back of my page here. It's going to be absolutely fine. So I do have in mind for this journal a theme, which is going to be a floral theme, and I am coming up with a title, a name. I haven't named many of my journals. I don't know if I've named any of my journals actually so far. They've all just been what the theme is. But for this one, I'm going to come up with a name for her. I am going to use, I also picked up at my thrift store some flashcards, and I'm going to use those as my journal cards and tuck spots as much as I can in this journal. So this is going to go inside here. Now, of course, I'm going to decorate it. And then I also need to make like a little tag for in here. Or this journal, normally I come up with a digital for it, and I have just thrown in like this piece of Louisa Heinzel's What's Left That I Have of That kit, and then I have another kit from My Porch Prints, but I really have not chosen a digital for papers for my journal. I'm not going to have that many prints, I guess, in here. I want my decorations to be hand-sketched flowers. So that's where this journal is headed. We are going to stop here from now. We have our page designed as to the basics of it. We're going to have a part 2 where I am going to create with you several of these flashcards, backgrounds for them, that will make journal cards and tags for our journals. So we will see you again for part 2 of this journal. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye now.